Welcome to another
Thanks.
episode. He's back. It's been a year or so. I think what was the start of the pandemic we
It
first
was,
podcast.
yeah, it's probably been at least a year. I would say a year. Why not?
You like
Who
my
knows?
haircut?
Do you like my haircut? That's the question.
It's looked
The
the
whole
exact
face is
same.
different. Do I look exactly the same?
I
Oh
actually, the
yeah.
sides are longer, I think. Um,
No, I totally forgot. No, I actually did a pandemic mustache, and since we haven't left the pandemic, it's stayed the
yeah, about
entire
to
time.
say
So
this is normal to me, is the mustache and
yeah,
everything.
there was a whole transformation. I had a beard down to here for a moment, and that's gone.
And now
So,
you're in space.
and now I'm in space.
You're like the guy from Amazon shipping himself up to or the moon.
Oh, Basie, yeah, he's a good friend, and I think that I think he like there's a petition that he like to stay out there, and he wants to. He just has to run Amazon and stuff. Like no one's gonna abuse those employees unless he's there. So
It's because you did all the horrible crap to the employees, and now they're shipping them off up into outer space. It's
no, I
like,
think it's the other way around. He's gonna just wave at them, and he's come back down meaner than ever. He's gonna get some gamma radiation, and like turn into. Jeff, my prediction for Jeff Bezos going to space, he's gonna grow like 2 feet. He's gonna come out and he's gonna be like even taller. You'd be like, whoa.
I feel like he's going to build a magnifying glass, and then you know how you used to burn ants in your driveway? That's what he's going to be doing from the moon, trying to burn like civilizations.
Yeah, I mean he totally has like if anyone like if we lived in like a Marvel comic universe, if there's ever a bad guy, most certainly it's gonna be Jeff Bezos. He's got the look, he has no hair, he's looking like fucking like some sort of Voltron character, or maybe like a Power Ranger villain, completely bald and just a floating head. That's literally him.
Did the pandemic just make the world weirder, or did it just let the inner freak out in a way?
I think, yeah, I think that if you have, almost 8 billion people on the planet, things are just going to get fucking weird. And that's what we have now. What needs to happen is some people need to go. Maybe Jeff Bezos will be the first one, and then we'll have at least one fuck off this planet. And then we can start thinking about some others as well.
Well, that's why Elon Musk is building a hotel on Mars.
Easy. I haven't heard that.
He wants to create this whole civilization where people can live in space. You just got to pay a large nominal fee.
Yeah. And then never come back. Basically paying to fuck off, which is not how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to work the other way around.
Can you send all the people that, like, when they sip wine, they like smell the glass and ring around, the sommeliers, whatever they're called? Can you just send all them? I don't like that.
Why don't you like them?
Because I don't like the fact that you're smelling a glass and you go, I can smell the tannins. I'm like, you can't smell shit. I can smell people's scents and I can't smell tannins.
Well, they say that the wine sommelier thing is total like malarkey, but I think the taste is involved. And if you want to snort some wine, do it. Why not? Why do you have to hate? Why? I feel like you always come out too hot, and I'm like, love each other, but fuck off at the same time. Like let's get out of here.
I'm not mad at corporations for tricking weak-minded people. And when I say weak-minded, is like the people that buy the murder your thirst, whatever that fucking drink is, where it's like it's pure water and it's got a skull on it. You always see advertisements for. I've tried
Yeah,
it.
we don't have that here.
It's fucking water. That's all it is.
It
There's
is.
nothing
It's
special
water.
about it.
Yeah, yeah, it's water in a can.
What? It's the branding. How the fuck did they get so many people to buy that shit? My buddy's like, it's good water. I'm like, it's water and it's $1 a can. So you're $3, you can buy a 24 pack of bottles, but instead you want to buy $1 a can and buy a 20 pack that way. The dude's just making bank. I'm like, can I sell fucking air?
You probably, yeah, you definitely could if you have, all the really the celebrities take over, fuck it.
Well, they already invented that. Some person was selling clean air from like the mountains of whatever it was for you to be able to breathe in. So you could have, it was for people in like China that have the heavily populated places or polluted places. You could breathe fresh air in a bottle, and then they were sending them out there. They're making rich scams off that. I was like, it's like fart in a jar.
It doesn't it doesn't sound like a scam. It's that they just it's not like mountain air, just like their apartment air. Just kind of they're just going this all day. Just
Imagine
fucking
looking
sucking
in
it
the
up.
window and some dude's running around with a jar, like trying to capture the air in his
Yeah,
apartment.
like I think the best way to do it is just like when you're a kid, you just kind of spun really fast in a circle with your arms out in the air. Probably just like doing a helicopter sort of thing, and then yeah, just grabbing all that air you can. It's not a bad business idea. You're just jealous that you didn't think of it. You know,
No, what I'm
I think that's your problem. You're upset about corporations because that's what you want to do.
there are some things I'm like, damn it, I should have bought into that. Like Sea Monkeys. Why doesn't Sea Monkeys make a bigger return?
What do you mean return? The return is you get to have little whatever they're like sea louse or some shit like that in a
You bought
fucking
it
bottle.
one time and then you realized how shitty it was because they died and you never bought them again. I want to make sure we have comeback buyers. It's kind of like I had this chocolate peanut butter beer and I took a sip of it and I was like, this doesn't taste anything like fucking chocolate. It tastes like ass water. And I'm like, that's how they get you. They sell it for $11 for 4 cans. And then they just want the one sale. They don't care about the return. They want to trick every single person once with the chocolate peanut butter.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, it works. Why not?
What are
Like,
you,
I think you could definitely
capitalist?
make a beer that's called, like, cherry rainbow, and it's just a pale ale, and they'll be like, oh, cherry rainbow, I'm buying into that. It's June, it's got to buy the stuff that has the rainbow stuff on
June.
it. Yeah, in June it's Gay Pride Month in the UK.
Okay.
So all corporations just put rainbows on fucking everything for June, and then on June 31st, it's fucking right back to where they were.
What building was trending because they said no to lighting up their lights like the rainbow flag?
Oh, who knows? I don't follow the news anymore. It's
I just followed
nothing good.
Twitter. It's like awesome. You get to see what's trending, and society has some low standards. It'll be like Bezos 1 minute, then it'll be like severe corrupt politicians. Then it'll be like how to cook an egg with my big green egg. It's like what? You start to realize society's attention spans all over the place.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I try to stay off social media for the most part because it's definitely rotten my brain. And all I do is sit inside. I don't know how open you are in America, but in the UK, we are very much still, in restrictions. Although I did get my second vaccination today, so
But the new
you know,
variant's coming.
oh, it's already here, bud. We already got it.
Did you squash it?
No, no, we are in the middle of it. We are probably gonna have to lock down. Hopefully not. Hopefully, fingers crossed, vaccine works. But yeah, I'm not too hopeful. We can go to bars again though. That's fun.
I'm so happy that we're not in lockdown anymore. There's no
Are you not in
mask.
lockdown?
There's
Where are you at?
nothing. I'm in Maryland, and most of the
Maryland.
states is not locked down anymore. There's like no more masks. There's all I didn't never really
Crazy.
cared. It wasn't never a big issue, but it's just
Yeah.
funny because if they try pulling that variation shit over here, that variant shit, it's not gonna go down. There are so many people like go fuck yourself.
Yeah, they're like, I'm over. I've got 2 shots in my arm to prove it.
Everyone's like,
Done with it.
Florida got it right. I'm like, yeah, Florida got it right.
It's fucking funny, man. I think it just goes to show you, like America took the whole thing. We could say, half serious. And for a while, we weren't even taking it serious. But in the last year, you guys have kind of killed it. And now you're just loving life. And here in the UK, we've taken it very serious for a very long time, and we're still restrictions. We still got to wear masks in store.
It's
Pretty
like
dumb.
my cousin just graduated high school and they had to do it out of their cars. Like they had to graduate that.
I would have fucking loved that. That would have been
That
amazing.
sounds so shitty. It's like I compare it. So I think last time we talked about the Olympics.
Yeah.
During the Olympics, for instance, there was the Russian doping thing where Russia was doping a lot of their competitors, and they ended up finding out later there was a giant scandal. It's a documentary on Netflix,
Yeah.
and they went back to go get the gold back from them, and then give it back to the people that got second place because they were actually first, and they were giving this guy the gold, and he's like, "Why are you doing this?" He goes, "You're gold. Aren't you happy?" And he goes, the moment was getting gold in front of all my friends and family in the middle of the fucking Olympics, not 10 years later, you give me the gold. Cool. It didn't matter. It was the moment that was taken from me. You can't pay back. I'm like, fuck, man. How many people have had moments like graduation, getting married, but everything had to be in lockdown restriction? You can't go to Cancun and fucking hang out with your family because everyone's like, you got to stay here and suffer with us.
Yeah, I mean you're absolutely right, but I fucking hated high school with a passion. So if there was an
Were you
option that
popular?
where you just had does this look popular? No, I was not popular. I mean there was only 140 people in my class. It's fucking tiny.
Where did you go? Where'd you go to
Um
school?
fucking backwoods middle of nowhere. That's where I went to school.
I had like 600 something people in my class, and they had to call each one of them by name to get their fucking diploma. And the dude would
Oh, we were
pause and wait a
fucking we
minute.
were we were fucking in and out in like 30 minutes.
I told Roman, I was like, run across the fucking stage. Everyone's going so slow. I'm like, hurry up, because he has to wait till you clear the stage before you go. And there was like a couple of overweight people, no offense to them, but they would like stop and they would wave and they would like pull up their pants and then start walking again. And that wasn't just them. There were some people that were wearing shoes that don't fit their feet and they're
Yeah,
fucking tripping
but
on
why
needles.
aren't they wearing their gown? Pull up your pants. Just don't worry about it. Wear a gown. But I'm telling you, if we would have drive, like if they would given the option to drive down the road and then they just chuck in my fucking diploma, like some sort of NASCAR relay or something like that, I would have fucking been like, sign me up. Give me in it. I didn't want to go to my graduation. I just wanted to fucking leave.
My principal, when I got my diploma, shook my hand and then he said like this, gritting his teeth, good luck. And I was like, oh, you don't fucking mean that. You fucking mean you want me to die of like an opioid addiction. That's what you want.
Well, you are in Murderland, so you know it's possible that it was you didn't have very many options. Just like for me coming out of Texas, you know, like leaving high school, I'm lucky to get as far away as I did. Like some people fucking planted roots right where they grew up in high school.
Is it all right? So did you go to another country because you just hated it so much in Texas? You
I
hated America that much?
I love Texas. I loved San Marcos, where I went to university. Love Austin. I hate the fucking small town I went to. It's ridiculous. They like just to mention the whole like pride and LGBTQ thing. They had that last year was the first year they ever celebrated like a Pride Day
What in the
in my
UK?
town in my hometown of Wimberley, Texas, and they made their logo and it had like made it into a rainbow. And then other people in the community, because there is a gay community in Wimberley, they started using this logo as supporting like the high school and also supporting gay pride and stuff like that. And the high school started suing them for using their like emblem.
Does that not piss you off when you see all these companies change their shit to rainbow shit to make sales
Yeah.
when they actually don't give
Oh,
a fuck?
it fucking really pissed me off. The school, they turned out the school paid $100,000 in legal fees trying to get people to not use their icon with the gay flag on it, the rainbow flag. And the funny thing is, they lost. They're like, they can do that. It's freedom of speech, you know?
Some person asked me about shirt designs and he asked if
Mm.
he put his logo in rainbow, would he get more sales on his shirt? I was like, if you're not in like, if you don't even like, if your show's not about that, if you're not about that, and you just want to do it to make sales, then you're a piece of shit. Like,
No,
I
for
hate to
real.
say it.
No, 1,000%. And that's Wembley through and through. It's not a very forward thinking place. I mean, there's forward thinking people from there, but I would say as a whole, like hate the shit on you, Wimberley, but you were the worst.
Would you say working from home has been a blessing or is it going back to work? Because I know they said, I thought they were lifting some of it, like you were kind of partially back to work and then now what, it's going back
Some
into
people are,
lockdown?
some people are, some people aren't. Me and my wife still work from home, so
Is that like a pain in the ass?
it's weird being like where your office is, your home. There's like no disconnect there. I would look forward to the opportunity to like go to the office like a couple times a month just to go and maybe do like team building stuff because you do feel like, you know, you're isolated. Like I do feel like I'm in outer space, like listen to me, taking phone calls. I'm in the ether, man, wherever the fuck you are. And yeah, just want to get out. Like it's nice been going to bars and shit like recently, and like I have a stand-up show coming soon, which is fucking sick. But Jesus, it's been a while.
Give me your best joke. I'm doing
No.
that to you. I'm going to do what everybody does to a comedian when they talk to him. Give me your best fucking one liner.
Yeah, so I think you should stop making like smart fridges. Like I like where's the line? Like I don't need a fridge that has a PhD. I'm just looking for a dummy that can hold my milk. That's it.
That's a good one.
That's it.
That's a good one. I'm more
Thank
of,
you.
I guess people call me a storyteller, but I don't know what stories I really have in my arsenal that I could use besides finding out that Michael Jackson and Magic Johnson weren't the same person.
I mean, that's gotta be. I
Not
mean, I
talking about
think you should keep
looks.
that. Yeah, well, good because you shouldn't because that would get you canceled like tomorrow.
I'm
So
not, I have to have a show to be canceled. I'm not that popular. But
that's true.
when I was 20, I was working at a hotel and then they said Magic. Oh, no, not Michael Jackson. It's Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. And they're both basketball
Okay.
players. So that's a little bit easier. It's not like a singer
I
pop
yeah,
star.
I feel I yeah. I mean, you're kind of digging yourself out of the hole a bit by saying that.
Well,
I mean,
I'm not the MJ's things mess me up. It doesn't matter if you could be, if there's another Reece with the same last name as
they
you, or there's an
they
RT.
also played around the same time. They played to get against each other.
Well, he
So
comes for our annual fishing tournament thing, and I wanted to ask him like, it was Michael Jordan, not Magic Johnson, and I was
okay,
like, I want to ask him what it was like to be the first guy in the NBA to have AIDS, and then a
that's
bunch of people just
probably not
looked
a
at
great
me. They're
idea.
like, "What the fuck?" I'm like,
You'd be
"That
like, yeah,
fear."
you realize Michael Jordan would fucking punch you in the neck if you asked him that question.
He's apparently a real asshole because a lot of people here
He,
were like, I fucking hate that guy. When I'm serving at his table, he's just an asshole. And I'm like, that sucks, man. I
I,
don't want people to be like that.
I mean, not to, I don't know him. I wouldn't doubt it because I watched that documentary where he talked about, like his time in the NBA and stuff. And yeah, you can tell he totally called himself like that. He wanted to be the best and he was fucking mean to people.
But
He
people
did
just
it.
want you to fail, though. It's like Tiger Woods when he got into his car accident. You know how many people were like, he was drinking and driving. He's a fucking asshole. And they were just going off on him. And then they found out there's no alcohol in his car. There were no medication stuff in his car. He accidentally, I guess, going so fast, he mistakenly, I guess, messed up with hitting the brake. He accidentally hit the accelerator, which is tend to happen when you're moving pretty fast. I know it's easy to chuckle at, but like if your car lose traction on the road and you accidentally like do a quick turn, you're thinking so quickly, you think you're hitting the brake real fast. You end up hitting the gas and he's ran right off the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only laughing because I'm a terrible driver and I crash all my cars. So yeah, I know. I'm not that I get confused, but I crash cars constantly.
How many cars have you crashed?
Well, not too many cars because all the like there wasn't like totaled. I've only totaled one car.
How'd you
But
total a car when you're in your 20s?
no, yeah, it must have been close to 20. Yeah, this basically like we were out in the middle. We went camping in Enchanted Rock, Texas, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's like it's desolate, dude. There's no cell signal, nothing. Like and it's just highways. And the funny thing out there is that, the highway probably was just some old road a long time ago. So people live straight off the highway and this woman, she was like 80. She pulled out in a 1992 like Cutlass Supreme or something like that. Pulled out in front of me when I was in the went to the fast lane. I'm going 80 miles an hour. There's no stopping,
And
and
you hit a fucking Cutlass Supreme.
yeah, fucking I hit it, destroyed a beautiful car. I'm so mad.
Your car probably was more wrecked than that thing. That thing is like hard ass metal.
The whole back, yeah, I mean the whole back end, just that car was totaled. I felt bad. I mean, it was old. It was an old fucking car. It looked beautiful, and she pulled out right in front of me. And like at first you get out and you're real hot, like you're angry. And I was walking up and I thought it was just like, because it was an old car, I was like, it's either like some dumb kid not paying attention, I was gonna fucking scream at him. And then when he showed up and she was just this frail old woman, I was just like, okay. I had to write down her information and give her my information because that's how old she was.
Imagine if she just got out of the car and hit you with a purse. She probably lost her license because of that, because she was already too old to drive.
Good. She should have. If you're gonna pull out into the fast lane and not accelerate, yeah, it was either gonna be the car next to me or her. We were going about the same speed, so like good. If she lost her license, I hope they did. She definitely deserved to. It was not my fault.
One of my family friends, she's probably like mid 40s. She can't drive, and I was like, why can't you drive? And she's like, she has epilepsy, so she can't
Yeah,
drive. And she was
that's
like,
not a good idea.
try being. She was like, I was 30 and I found out I had this. And then she's like, you know what it's like to not be able to drive, and ever like your freedom is just so limited to what you could do on a bike or something. But she goes, sometimes I'm able to drive in my front yard. She goes, you know how fucking sad that is? Like people think they're teaching a kid how to drive for the first time, and you had years of experience, and then just one day it's gone from you. I'm like, damn, that must suck going to like the MVA or the DMV, whatever, and just sitting there and be like, can you still read these lines? Like, I'm like, I don't have my fucking glasses on me. I can't see distance. Like, what are you doing fucking driving? I'm like, I can make out some of the words. I know where to go. I don't need to
Dangerous
know
as fuck.
street names.
Nah, no, 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 no. You need to be able to see to drive. No, I disagree.
Are you sure?
No. Yes, thousand
I
percent.
I have good
Unless you get a
reflexes.
Tesla. Unless you have a Tesla, those things drive themselves.
I don't trust that at all. The first time
Mhm.
you're in a Tesla and you're driving and you put it on auto drive, you got to sit there and watch it. Be like, this thing's gonna fuck up at any moment.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't do it. I'm very happy to drive myself. I would think electric cars all the way go to the future, but I'm very happy to drive. So I don't need someone to drive for me.
Do you like it what they have a glass floorboard
They have a glass floorboard. No, I'd fucking hate that.
so you can
Sounds
see
awful.
everything that you're driving over?
No, no thanks.
I don't think you want to see everything you're
No,
driving over.
I've hit things, you don't when sometimes you're going like you're like imagine like I don't know how it is in Murderland, but when you're driving in Texas, there's all sorts of critters out on the road,
I'm in a
and
beach town, bro.
you're in a beach town, so maybe a turtle goes out on the road and you run it over or something. You have turtles in Murderland?
We have crabs.
Crabs? Do you run over crabs?
I try not to.
There you go. See, it happens though,
But what happens is seagulls pick them up from the water and they fly really high above your
and they
car and they
drop them.
drop them to break them.
That's awesome.
You got a crab shell right through your fucking windshield while you're driving in a 1978 Pontiac.
Hey man, free crabs. You know what I mean? Sounds awesome. It seems like those seagulls are doing you a favor.
No. Forgot what I was gonna say about. Have you ever seen a car with a trunk? Like their trunk is where the engine is, and then the front is where the trunk is.
I've never seen one personally, but I know what you're talking about.
That is the scariest thing. I saw a person. I thought they were just like it was an older person. I thought he was just having dementia, and they were like unlocking the front of their car. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And he threw his clothes and everything. I was like, "Did you just put on top of your engine?" He goes, "No, that's my trunk." And I'm like, "What?" Like you start looking at it like, "Oh my god, there are some people that have cars that like it's like I'm the old guy now. Like I'm so futuristic." There was one during winter. He self started his car and it drove up to the front of the door and he
I've
ran
seen
out
that
there
as
and
well.
that's fucking nuts. That's too much technology for a vehicle.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's my whole thing about smart stuff. Like where's the line? Like it's kind of like it's so unnecessary. We already have a smartphone. I don't need everything to be a fucking smart cup. Tell me how many milliliters are in it. Like every time I fill it up, it tells me the alcohol content.
This is
I
your
mean, like
third Pepsi.
maybe you're making wrong decisions for your life. I don't need fucking your help. I know what I like.
Can can you imagine if you're drinking at like a bar and they have a smart cup and it just goes, "This is your third one, Reese.
Yeah.
Plan on
Like
driving or are you going to Uber? I'll call you an Uber." It's like, don't fucking tell me how to live my life. I'm
you're
gonna
like
walk home.
Yeah, I'm walking home. It's like Reese, it's 3 miles. I'm walking. You've made me mad. Can I get two for the road?
Then smart shoes where you're walking drunk and it's like you're stepping side to side, walking back, and it's like, oh, look at
Yeah,
this alcoholic walking down the road. You're like, shut up, shoes.
no,
Shut up.
just walking down the road and like, oh, I can see you're staggered. Let me call the police for you. Like, oh, great, thanks. The thing is, all these smart devices are narcs. They're not going to keep secrets for you.
Well, they'd use, I mean, at this point, I think everybody's
If you have a smart fridge in your house, a police officer comes knocking and they're like, "Hey, Henrietta," and then he's like, "Hello." I mean,
Why
they're like,
Henrietta?
"Police." I don't know, the fridge, Henrietta, the fridge. I don't know.
Why are you naming your fridge Henrietta? You're not going to
She
call him
came named. I don't know. I didn't fucking
Fridgy.
name her that. Fridgy. Oh my god, you have the naming ability of like me when I was like 6 years old. All my cats, I'll name them off for you, and you let me know if there's a connection. If I had maybe like an idea for a name, so I had Smokey, okay, and I had Blackie, yeah, I
Oh my
had
God.
I had Greenie, yeah, I had a
Was he green?
Rainbowy.
Was he green or rainbow?
No, it was more. I know. I was like, that cat's green, and they're like, all right, kid. And we're like, maybe we shouldn't save you a college fund.
um, damn, it sounded like the seven dwarfs of cats.
There's that's how far out I lived. There's just feral cats out in the middle of nowhere.
Why did you want cats though?
Oh, I love cats.
What about
Best animal
dogs?
ever. We had dogs. We had cats.
I don't
The
trust
neighbor, the
cats
neighbor, the
because
neighbor has longhorn cattle.
I don't trust cats because apparently like cats have to you have to be careful when like if you have a pregnant woman in the house or something because apparently there's a type of parasite that lives in cat litter that can get soaked up and actually affect the baby. So like it's very
It
very
affects people as well. You can actually get a parasite, and it makes you love your cat more.
that's like the stereotypical thing with the South. Like where they say the South is slow, like, oh, you must be from the South, you know, that type of like, it's all because of a tapeworm. There was a
You think?
tapeworm that ravaged the South that made people like fatigued, tired, and they made them slow talking. And then a bunch of people that were like discovering like certain parts of the South before it was like this giant, you know, America that it is today. Back in the day, they were coming across these people that were all slow, slurred speech and tired, and they just thought you were slow if you were from the South.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Like people didn't know shit
We
back in the
still don't
day.
know shit.
Yeah, exactly. You
Explain to
know,
me the fucking pyramids.
can't do it.
Exactly.
It's awesome though. I want to see them. I got to see Stonehenge recently. That was cool.
That's the one I'm more obsessed with than the pyramids.
It's all right. I mean, you can't get that close to it. I mean, if you go on the summer solstice, they let you ride up to it, and you can like be in the rocks because it's like a pagan holiday. But like there's a barrier. You can't get that close.
They
They're
were
big
gonna
though.
dig under it at one point.
Yeah, they're still talking about it.
What is it? What's the point of digging under it?
There's so much traffic over there.
What?
Yeah, this like you like that's the one thing they don't tell you about Stonehenge is like if you're coming if you depending on what direction you're coming at it, but if you're coming at the main direction, which pretty much everyone comes at it, you come down this hill and then you can see the circle. You can see Stonehenge, the whole thing. And then people are like, oh shit, there's the circle. Where do I go? So everyone pretty much stops to like take a picture to look and but they're on a main highway, you know, so there's always traffic. As soon as people see the stones, they're like slowing down, rubbernecking and stuff. And then the parking lot's probably like another 2 miles down the road. And you
You
have
know,
to walk up.
I started thinking about is imagine someone's listening to this podcast and they hear my voice 1 second before they slam their face or slam their car into the back of another car and their face just presses up against the fucking windshield. My voice is their last thing that they hear before they go into a coma and wake up a month later.
Is that what you want? Is that
I
your
don't
like
want that. I'm just
aspiration
saying
as a
imagine
podcast
that though.
goal?
No, my podcast goal is to try and get um what's his name? Oh no, I'm blanking on his name.
Don Cheadle.
No, not fucking Don Cheadle.
Well, you're not giving me any hints, and so I'm just gonna be guessed. The Rock, Dwayne Rock Johnson. I'd like to talk to him.
I don't want to talk to Dwayne.
I don't know.
I want to talk to
Jack Black.
Yes,
Is it
that's what I
actually?
want to talk to. I emailed him
No,
a
it's
couple of
not.
times. I emailed him a couple of
Not
times to come
Jack
on the show.
Black.
He's just making fucking TikToks. Why can't he do my show? I love Tenacious D. I was listening to that before this podcast.
Tenacious D is pretty wicked. I agree with you there.
They're completely underrated when it comes to the amount of attention they should be getting.
You think?
I
They're
think
not even a band anymore.
That's what I'm saying is like they had some great songs and
They
no
did.
one really gave them the time. Like they had a
Yeah,
couple of
because
good
of
albums.
comedy.
Comedy. It was more than comedy, dude. It was good ass music, in my opinion.
It was good as music. I mean, their movie Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny is one of the best musicals I've ever seen.
That's one album, and then they got 4 other ones that they produced that are really.
Oh, I know.
Good.
I you don't understand. I love Tenacious D. I actually own a Pick of Destiny.
Does it help you play instruments better?
No, it's a fucking cheap piece of plastic, dude. It came with the DVD when you bought the special edition. I'm that sort of fan.
I just wish he'd do the show. It'd be cool to talk to Jack Black and pick his
It
brain.
would be cool to Jack Black. I just think that it would be a wild conversation. He's going to be all over the place. He just is. He's going to be Jack Black.
What do you think I do? Just sit in one place?
Yes. To be fair, I've only ever seen you here, so I can only imagine that that's all you have. You're just
yeah. There's nothing else in the world. It's all just blank white. This is nothing. God has not created the rest of it.
No, yeah, you just live there in this little like
square box,
17x9 rectangle.
And I waited a year for you to come back onto the show.
Yeah, and you neglected me for a year, and then called me. And
there's so many fucking people to talk to. I'm sorry. Look, hey, if you want to come on the show, hit me up on the DMs.
That's all right. No, I like being invited. It's nice, and thank you very much for bringing me back on.
You're welcome. I don't even think I made an appearance on the Fried Penguin News.
No, unfortunately, Fried Penguin News got canceled.
That's okay. We're going to have a better show coming, right?
Yeah, better show. The last days of the Chili Festival coming soon, July 1st. Follow us. Last Chili Festival.
It sounds like I just want to, it's funny because the guy from Tenacious D, Kyle Gass, was in that movie Wild Hogs where they had the chili competition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny. It makes me want to take acid and just listen to shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you check us out, that's pretty much our podcast. That's probably the definition. It's like acid, just listen to it and shit.
Did you change it up at all from Fried Penguin, or is it just
Yeah, it's totally different from Fried Penguin. It's a totally different concept. Every episode's different. There's pretty much no format. It's 100% improvised podcast.
okay? Well, how are you improvising things? Do you guys have a board that you spin off over? You Steve Harvey it, where we're like, show me potato salad, and you turn around and check the backboard.
We just talk, and then whatever happens, happens. We do actual podcasty shows. We do scenes. We do gags.
What type of
We've
gags? The sunglasses stuff?
we prank call people.
You know what's
So
crazy is I didn't get all your references until later when I listened to a lot more of your stuff and I got to actually know you guys individually. And I realized a
mhm.
lot of the references you were making were stuff in your own life. And I was like, I was fucking like a third wheel in that whole entire episode.
Yeah, we kind of do that. We kind of just run with it.
I mean, is it better to be a voice in a giant room that's actually the main entertainer, or is it better to be one that just sits and listens?
Well, I don't know. I think it's better to be in a group because then you can all scream as loud as you can. And then doesn't like if you're with one person and I bring like five of my mates and like we're having a shouting competition and like who's the loudest in the room? Well, obviously I'm gonna be the loudest, so I win.
Well, it's kind of like stand-up comedy. People remember something that's rememberable.
Well,
Are you gonna
people remember something that's different as well. So
Yeah, like there was that comedian that used to wear like a giant mask headdress on stage.
mask
It's
headdress.
like
I've
a
never seen it.
cardboard box thing. He was a really like small town comedian, but he wore a giant box, like one of those Roblox giant helmets things. And it was cut out, but it was like crappily done. It was like a giant headdress thing. And he would just have crazy jokes. People would laugh at that was like his gag. Like people give Bo Burnham shit because he uses music in his act. But I'm like, did you see his new special? It's fucking amazing. I mean,
It's
that's the
really
fact
good.
that he made that all on his own in a pandemic. I've listened to it 1,000 fucking times.
Yeah, I loved it. It's a great show. I mean, it just depends what you like. Some people don't take music comedy seriously. I love musical comedy. I think it's easier because a lot of times what you can do is you can just take songs and just make up your own words to it. But what Bo Burnham does, he actually writes and composes. And it's pretty impressive what he does. I dare anyone to try to do what he does.
Well, it's like satirical comedy too. A lot of people just want like a blatant, like, up here's the joke, and then it's a punchline. And then I like stuff that you actually like kind of makes you think back. Like if you watch Dave Chappelle's special, Sticks and Stones, it makes you want to go back and you start listening to it and you start picking up subtle things you didn't really realize in the beginning because you were just laughing at some stuff that he was saying. He's making fun of the audience the first 30 minutes of the thing because you know they try to cancel him and do all that stuff. Same thing with Kevin Hart's new special. It's like he's doing it out of his own house. He's like, because you guys got me doing comedy out of my own fucking house. Like it's just you start to realize like I think that pushback of cancel culture is coming up soon where it's like people are just kind of getting fed up with it now.
Well, I think as well, just don't think it was ever really a thing. I think obviously some people did get canceled and their careers got over, but the thing is, they probably still have a lot of money. And word has it, Kevin Spacey's probably gonna have another film soon. So,
But
and he's
Ellen
one of the
stopped her
worst ones.
show.
Huh?
Ellen stopped her show.
She's been doing it for like 20 years.
But she
Yeah,
said it's because of all the pressure she's been getting from the media after that one thing where she's been treating her people like shit.
good. Good, you fucking psychopath. If you're gonna be a psychopath, they're like, oh, boo hoo, people are being mean to me online. Don't be a psychopath. She
Then
is. She's loaded, and also, but like, she's not canceled. It's like if it would be like if Oprah got canceled. She has money. You can't cancel someone who's self-produced.
I feel like the
How?
person who would be gunning for you to take you down would be the person that's closest to you, like Oprah's husband is just waiting for the one day they get into a
Ooh,
huge fight
Stedman.
where she just
Stedman. He's set for life, dude. He's not going
yeah,
anywhere.
but if she like says something to him, they get to a huge argument. He goes, "You have a tiny micro penis," and then
He,
he just
yeah,
goes,
I bet you.
"Okay."
I bet he's just like, yes, thank you.
I feel like he gets pissed off and he just like blogs about her and puts like secret photos or secret
Yeah,
information on the
maybe
internet.
maybe he has like alternate profiles. He does that because that could be an outlet, and she would never know, or maybe she does know. Oprah has a lot of fingers out there.
It's kind of like the UA unidentified flying objects, the aerial phenomena stuff. They put it on a Black Vault website. So you click on the Black Vault website, it's all the CIA files, and it just looks like a conspiracy shitty run website where it's like, oh, no one's gonna take this seriously. I was like, that's the best move to do. If you're gonna release alien shit, put it on a site that looks like a nut job made it so no one takes it fucking seriously, and then you get the real information out there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, aliens are probably real. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't think so.
I mean, I can share his skepticism, just if you know how far things are, and like they are like fourth dimensional beings, it's pretty much in fucking possible. But I guess it is possible that there are been fourth dimensional beings. We just would never know it. So fuck it.
Well, we're trying to find other dimensions because now we're discovering that there might be possible other dimensions. So if we're
Well,
talking about that,
there's most certainly other dimensions, but whether or not other things live there is
why do you
another
say
question.
most certainly?
Well, because have you ever read Flatland before?
No.
Flatland is a story told from the perspective of one uh, person who lives on Flatland. In Flatland, there is no third dimension, so there's only length and width. That's it. So you can be we can be shapes, but there's no 3D. And then one day, a 3D creature comes over Flatland, sees the square, and goes, "Hey!" But to the square, the voice is just coming out of nowhere. It just completely out of the blue. And then the thing's like, oh, well, I'll go up close to it. And so it passes through the second dimension and you just see line segments. And so something's there. And then the third dimensional creature, frustrated, picks him up and throws him in the air. And so he leaves Flatland and then he can see the third dimension. And he's up there and he's falling and he falls down. He goes back to Flatland and everyone's surprised because to them they just appeared out of nowhere. And then he's like, "Where were you?" And he was like, I was somewhere else. I can't point to it, but I was somewhere else." It's like, imagine in third dimension, if you look at a corner of a room, that's it. That's the final point. But in the fourth dimension, that goes on further. There's another line. So it's absolutely there. We can't perceive it.
See, okay, so the people that are going to argue that point is, did you ever see Star Wars? Does that make that fucking real?
I'm not saying that. I'm not talking like that. I'm not talking, but I mean that could be a thing as well. There's so much space in between us. There's most likely 100% certainty that there is aliens. Whether or not we'll ever be able to communicate with them is probably zero because it might be a few million years after we've fucking been here.
I
We
think
never
it's
know.
more like Doctor Strange, where there's like another kind of dimension. That's my form of dimension, like where there's like a mirror, not really necessarily like how the movie depicts, but I feel like there's some things where you can unlock some stuff, like being able to like maybe some characteristics about yourself. I think there's another evolution in humanity's mindset that like the Neuralink is trying to provide for you by reading thoughts and sensing emotions. If you're like an empath or someone that can just sense, like a comedian, you can sense the vibe in a fucking room. That's what makes a good comedian, to be able to flow with what's going on, is when you can sense where to take a joke. If you say something, you don't get a laugh, you can sense that this isn't funny. Maybe it's a setup line. You can find like the plot point. I feel like
Mhm.
people can naturally get to this next stage of evolution of being able to like be more in touch and be able to be more of a community aspect of things. I think because we've neglected it for so long.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, it depends on what you want to view as dimensional. Like I believe that there probably is the fourth dimension, and maybe there's fourth dimensional beings, and they're around us all the time, but we can't fucking perceive them. It's very fucking possible. You do hallucinogens one time, I guarantee you'll think there's other crazy shit out there that no one knows about, and I mean, it's probably true.
What do you think about the paranormal? Because my buddy, he has like a paranormal investigation team, and I say it, and then you hear it like, yeah, you laugh, but
Uh,
they,
I mean, awesome, good for him. He makes money of that.
well, yeah, they
But
do
more
this.
power to him.
They
Yeah,
do.
fuck, good for him. I'm happy that he can get people to pay him to do that. That's awesome. I would do that in a heartbeat. I'm not laughing. Like, I think it's awesome. Well done.
Well, I thought it was interesting because I watched one of their videos and I actually got chills from it, because they go into these haunted locations, these places that are supposed to be haunted, and they get like a
Yeah.
Ouija board out and they light candles and shit, and they do these seances and stuff. And they have a spirit box, which is supposed to be like, it's like a radio, it's supposed to counter the waves or whatever. But you start hearing like they're asking it questions, nobody's touching it, and then it just like bleeds over. They get a signal, and it's like speaking through the radio, like Bumblebee from Transformers. And I started to get chills. I was like, I want to fucking go on one of these to actually test that shit out because like there are so many times that you just feel like somebody's watching you. What is that? Like I had a buddy on here, his name's John Schools. He's telling me you can summon aliens through an app that's called the CE5 or something. It's a $10 app you can get on your phone, and all you have to do is have love in your heart, and aliens apparently will appear to you. And apparently, it's like they do this type of thing where it's like projecting, where they're like, some of your dreams could be projections of visions and images from aliens. It's like that's why maybe some of our great inventors have like these visions and dreams or midnight sweats where they have to get up and start writing stuff down, is because it's something the aliens are trying to communicate with us and trying to better us as a society and get to a point where they can communicate. I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm just saying that's a fucking good skeptical thing to look at. Like, holy shit, like that could be a possibility. I mean, why are they releasing all the alien shit now? I don't know.
Well, I think it's because, you know, it's gone on far not long enough, you know, and if there are, it's either one of two things. It's either that the American military complex is way more complex and technologically advanced than we had ever thought possible. And they're just being secretive about it, but they releasing unidentified phenomenon to be able to, you know, kind of coax the public to think that that's it, or there's aliens. It's pick your choose. I mean, considering that there's a black budget that no one knows how much it costs, it could very well be just the American government fucking with people.
What do you think about the fact that maybe they're telling us it's aliens, but really they have technology that we can't even fathom yet, and they don't want to tell
Oh,
us it's that?
that's. You know why we have GPS?
Because to be
Like,
able to track things?
but you know how that technology came to be like public use.
How?
Back in the Reagan administration, there was a commercial airliner that got shot down by I think it was like the Russians or something like that, and it was because they couldn't identify what it was. So Reagan was like, "Fuck that! That's never happening again." So he released to the public a global positioning system satellites so that way people could know exactly what something was and like where it was. And yeah, so that's why we have GPS today. But it was top secret. No one knew about it. Only the military had it. And then they let it to the public because they thought it was for the better good.
Let me toss this theory at you. So my thought about Elon Musk, like how me and you talk, me and you can we could talk normally to each other and we're able to communicate. You know, it's not like we're explaining super things out. We're kind of just having a conversation like two people would. But if
Yeah.
we talk to a toddler, the toddler, it's like you have to slow things down, you have to kind of baby it, and you have to kind of get this conversation kind of going for them to be able to soak in using words that they know. Do you think Elon Musk looks at us like toddlers in a way? And then someone looks at Elon Musk that way, like an Illuminati thing. Like I feel like the government, the best thing they can possibly do to release information or technology that they want us to have, because they're becoming so advanced and they just want us to have the old shitty model. They just look at like who's the top brainiac of this generation right now, or someone that looks like they could obviously create something like this. Oh, okay, go knock on his door. You hear a Elon Musk. "Oh, hello, what is it? What is it?" Opens up the door. Are you Elon Musk? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Here's the Tesla, man. You get this going, and then next, you're gonna make $1 billion or something like that, and then whatever to the moon, and then they end up walking away. Is that a possibility?
No, I don't think Elon Musk is very intelligent. I mean, obviously, he has some intelligence and he has a lot of money to be able to get really intelligent people to get his ideas to come to fruition. But dude's not that smart. I mean, he's obviously a computer nerd and he's very technologically like, you know, savvy, and also had a huge loan from his parents, and they probably most likely made their money with blood diamonds. So, you know, I don't think Elon's something special. I think he's just lucky.
Okay. What? Okay. What about Jake Paul?
What about Jake Paul? Same thing. He's just very fucking lucky. There's 8 billion people on this earth. There's gonna be some lucky people out there. What
Well,
about Kanye West? At least he was good for a while, and then he kind of lost his mind there.
yeah. See, that was a whole thing of branding, I think, too. I think a lot of what goes on with branding is talking about God every like couple of words. There seems like
Oh
there's
God, yeah, that's the thing is like I just can't do it. Like if you're gonna, that's like, did you ever like Avenged Sevenfold? like the music.
Yeah,
I think
until
it's
they
a
got heavily
band.
religious and it got weird.
Exactly. As soon as like I was all about it, backcountry, and then they got their self-titled album, and then they have one song called Dear God. And I was like, oh no. I got enough God in fucking Texas school.
They it's weird because there's still a large percentage of people that aren't heavily religious now. There's like 52% of the population. But then if you look at like there are some strong few that like God bless God this. And it's like now it's like a way to get like popularity is when you talk about God. People just immediately like they don't want to argue with you. They just kind of side with you.
Yeah, it's very, I'm sure it's like that in America. In the UK, where I mean, there's obviously very religious people, but there's not very many of them left now, and pretty much anti-religion over here.
When did that shift happen and why what caused that shift? Just the faith kind of being lost a little bit?
I mean, have you been to England, dude? It's rough over here.
How's it rough?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's July, it's the middle of summer. We're here in Wales, and it's 56 degrees and wet.
It was like that this morning, but now it's 73 and sunny, says my computer.
But it's been like this. We haven't had a single day in the 80s. It's the middle of the summer. It's been pretty abysmal weather.
You should start checking your government to see if they have like pollution factories somewhere that's going and causing all that.
No, it's called being in the UK, where it's gray and rainy
But
pretty much every
if
day.
it was different in the 80s, then
I mean,
how's
it
it
was. I mean, no, I'm just saying that it's always been like this. It just beats down on your soul.
wearing you down slowly like the goddamn people that shoot the fragrance in your face when you walk into those stores?
Yeah, exactly. You might not like it when you come in, but I guarantee you're gonna smell it on the way out.
It's kind of like they took out free samples at stores, and I'm like, what happened? Like that was to let me know that this was going to be a peaceful place.
Oh, really? They stopped doing that? I think if you depends when you go. Like my buddy, he always likes shopping. Like he loves going shopping at like midday on a Wednesday because that's when they have like the most employees out there, and they'll have like little samples of cheese and stuff. And so you're walking around like, oh yes, please. Thank you
Who the
very
fuck
much.
creates a cheese platter for friends? Those are those wine people I don't like.
Oh, well, you don't like cheese platters?
No, can you give me something better?
Like what?
Why would you put a piece of cheese on a cracker and expect me to be amused?
What about cheese cracker onion chutney?
I've never gone that far into it. I'm not a big
Yeah.
onion guy.
Oh, well,
Why
you're
would you
missing
eat a
out.
food that makes you cry?
It doesn't make you cry when you eat it.
Bullshit.
What are you eating? Why are you eating raw onion? Like I bet, Gary, you bite into an onion, you're gonna cry.
I
You
don't.
cook it out an onion,
I've seen
not gonna
people eat those things. I'm good.
cry. There was a girl in my high school class. She brought an onion to class and was eating it like an apple,
I
and
know a couple people that do that.
and she was like, what? Like, yeah, we're the assholes in this situation, dude. The fucking weirdo eating a purple onion in
Have you tried the
class.
watermelon and mustard?
Watermelon and mustard.
That's like a
No.
big trend that's going on is people putting watermelon and they put mustard on top of it. Apparently it tastes really good.
No, I don't think it would.
It doesn't look appetizing. I don't want that.
No, yeah, we don't have, nice fruits over here. So
What's your best fruit?
apples, we got tons of apples.
That's a good one.
Blackberries, we got tons of blackberries as
Good one
well.
too.
Yeah.
What about
But as
oranges?
far as no, oranges don't really grow over here. Like we get them, but they're garbage. Like avocados, like they're awful over here.
Avocados are just terrible in general. I'm pretty sure that's
Well,
everywhere.
that will get you canceled, my friend.
Avocado toast. That's not my type of luxury breakfast.
California will be coming after you. And there's already an East Coast, West Coast rivalry. You're just winding up even more.
What do you classify as high class? Like what's your breakfast that's would be a high class breakfast, like a fancy one?
Is there is such a thing as a high class breakfast? I think I'm not fancy. Like I'm borderline white trash. So like
Anything with ice in a glass is fancy for me.
for me, a fancy breakfast would be like French toast.
I have that for dinner.
But I'm saying like it's not fancy. But that's me growing up. Like I hardly even eat breakfast now, and I'm vegetarian, so there's not a whole lot of options for me. But
It's not fancy normally, but when they put powdered sugar on it, I'm like, holy shit, where are we at? Who you summoning the devil?
no, you like I might like favorite thing I still miss from America. IHOP.
They're not the same anymore.
They're not the same anymore.
No, man, I went. There's an IHOP near my town. It's just packed with trash, man. Like there's just people like kids my age wearing snapbacks, tank tops that are just like taking selfies out in front of IHOP. Like that's like that. Well, I am in a tourist town, obviously, but you go in there, man, and there's like 50,000 different syrups: cranberry, berry, strawberry, blueberry, whatever,
Yeah,
Lincolnberry, if you want.
sounds good.
But it's just not the same service. It's not what it was back when it first came out. There was a lot more effort to it, which is like, I
Mhm.
understand if you're a brand new company and you're trying to revolutionize the world, like McDonald's is probably like, we care about our customers. Now it's like, I'm not making your fucking ice cream because the machine's broken. And it's like, is it really broken? No, I just don't feel like the long ass process of getting you a small Dixie cup that you're going to eat with M&Ms in it, you fucking bastard.
Mhm. Yeah. I really, but I love IHOP. You give me some hash browns, you give me some eggies, a little bit of Tabasco. I'm all about it.
I like a McDonald's hash brown and a biscuit.
McDonald's hash browns.
What are you
Nah.
reaching for?
Oh, my internet connection's going, so I'm opening the door to let more Wi-Fi in. Is that a thing?
Does it not go through the door like at most things?
It doesn't seem to like it. My Wi-Fi definitely works a lot better when the door's open.
I don't get it. Um, do you think that plays an effect on people's mental abilities? Wi-Fi?
Oh, the Wi-Fi's? Nah, I think it's probably all right.
I don't know. Maybe 10 years or 20 years from now, it'll be like, oh, wait, this played a giant effect on your brain growth.
I guess, but at least you can go on YouTube all throughout your house. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you die at the age
It's
of
like
40.
trade off to like you're dying at 40, but you got to see like Jake Paul's new video before he died. So what's
You,
the trade
you
off?
die at 40 because you spent all those hours in the middle of the night watching dumbass Facebook videos and thinking what Wish could send you.
Have you done off Wish? I've never bought anything off Wish.
No, because every time I click on the things that they show me in the ad, it's never the things that they show me in the ad. Like a Millennium Falcon I can
Oh,
buy
I
for my
get you.
driveway.
Oh, right. No, I just get weird ones, like
Gimp
just like
masks.
yeah, like the weirdest things. Like I think it was like an all leather, like a purple leather, like sort of spandexy thing, and I was like, what have I searched that makes you think that that's what I'm looking for? I'm looking like to be like a Kill Bill heroine, like
I
just
went
so
the original
crazy.
Superman suit.
Which one? The old, really old one.
The one that Christopher Reeves broke his back in.
He didn't break it in Superman. That'd be ironic, but
First of all,
he
if
wasn't
you
actually.
first put the Superman suit on, you never take it off. So he was wearing his clothes on top of it.
That's just the fact. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying is I want the exact suit he broke his back in.
Is that what you do with your Spider-Man costume?
It's
It
been
was
nice.
gonna happen. It was gonna happen eventually.
I could start an OnlyFans, I bet. Someone at my work actually came up to me. He goes, you know who Tom Holland is? And I was like, no. And then my boss was like, yeah, we call him Tom Holland here. And every time I see him now, I just give him the Spider-Man thing like that when I walk by.
I don't even think you look like Tom Holland.
Not that much, at least with my hair like this, I don't.
Yeah, it's definitely a little better now, and you're not British, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that Jawser size thing that you put in your mouth and extend your jaw out. I thought about looking into that, like getting like a more crafted jaw, but then I was looking at the reviews for it. Dude, people are like, it cracked my teeth. It's an orthodontist worst nightmare. Apparently, the mouth, like, because apparently it's supposed to, they show you a ball in the picture that you like chew on, and it helps you create these like
Yeah.
giant jaw structure. But there's a plastic piece that your teeth goes in, so it places your teeth in. That thing keeps breaking, and people are like, my gums started bleeding. I'm like, oh my god, like the reviews for this thing, there's like 5,000 good ones, but there's a shit ton of fucking bad ones. It's like Haribo gummy bears.
Why? Yeah. Why do you want a more defined jaw? Your jaw's fine.
I want a nice, thick, muscular, like fucking crimson chin jaw.
Why? Crimson chin jaw. Oh my
Yeah,
god, that. I think that guy had a tumor. You
probably.
know, I don't think you need your jaw. Your jaw's fine. You know what you can do? Just start chewing on some leather or something.
I
That'll be
chew a
fine.
lot of gum that helps my jaw muscles.
Yeah, they have to switch sides.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
I would give myself smaller feet. I just would.
I have a
Be like I
size
have a size.
13 shoe. What are you talking about?
I have size 14.
I'm size 13 shoe and I'm 5'8".
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like I'm sure it looks goofy on you, but like I've always said I could lose my toes and I'd be fine. I'd be like I still have a ton of foot left.
Why
You
do you
know,
want to lose your feet though? Like, does get a smaller
I don't
size?
want to lose my I don't want to lose my feet. I just want to have smaller feet because it's a fucking nightmare. It was a nightmare in America to try it because I'm actually size 15 in America, but I'm size 14 in the UK, and it was a nightmare in America to find size 15 shoes. And it's an even bigger nightmare here because the biggest size they go to is like size 13, so they don't fit me.
That's like my grandfather has to get shoes specially made for him because of his feet are so big.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do that for a while, but I mean, every once in a while you can snag some size 15s and it's fine, but
Must
not over
suck
here.
when you go bowling.
No, it's actually the best when you go bowling because usually you like only like two people have ever worn those shoes, so they come out like I've actually had them pull them out of the box before. They're like, no one's ever used these shoes. I'm like, sweet.
That's great. I'm trying to think because my cousin has like a size, I think 9 shoe. And he's like, it's always so hard trying to get shoes because everything's like in the 10 or 11 range. I'm like, I guess that's most of society's feet in America is like 11 or 12 range.
Yeah, you're like in and around that. So I think that's like if my like I'd be happy with like I'd be so happy if I had size 13. You don't you don't even understand. Even just losing 2 inches would be like
There are some people that
game.
just want a shoe so much they're willing to let their toes bend in pain because they like that shoe and it doesn't come in another size.
I don't get the whole sneaker thing, like the buying like the
Yeah.
nice Jordans and stuff like that. Like people spend some stupid money on that. I just don't get it.
The fucking little Nas Satan shoes went for like 500 something $1,000.
I mean, those were pretty. I'm not gonna lie, those are some pretty dope shoes. But I mean, they're just shoes.
Yeah. You just
Like
walk in a
uh,
puddle and some people never wear them. They just have them in a box
some
in their
people, yeah, I
closet.
know. Some people never like. That's what I don't get. It just like if I'm buying something, I gotta use it. Like I wear my shoes out until there's holes in them because it's really hard to find my size. So
I've had the
you
same
know,
pairs
like
of shoes for 5 years. I got new ones in my closet. I got 4 new pairs. I just get them for Christmas. I don't you wear them because I'm still wearing the ones I got. It's got a hole in the front part of the toe, but it's black and I wear black socks, so you can't even tell.
you should probably just throw those shoes out.
They're just easy to slip on. They're right by the door. I could probably just throw them out, but also at the same time, I like to use until it's completely trash.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Well, there you go, getting your full value out of it. And then that's why you'll never own, 1997 A1 Jordans. You just won't do it. Won't be your thing.
But I will own the original Superman costume.
Yeah, you still have that Superman costume on.
Like what I did there, I just pulled the jacket up a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'd be like, do I actually have it on? Because if like, not gonna lie, that's a weird flex if you have Christopher Reeves like original Superman
You
suit and
can't
you
even
only wear it.
insult me now. You said Christopher Weaves.
I have a speech impediment, so thanks for bringing that up.
Damn, you flipped it back on me.
Well, I don't have a speech impediment, but I just want to make you aware. Some people do. I'm out to spread the message.
It's
I
like
just,
you look
speak
like your
up.
dad, and then someone goes, "My dad died." And you're like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." It's like people do that
And
because
like,
they
I'm
have
not
a
saying,
power.
I'd be like, you look like your dad. And they're like, my dad died. It's like, I know, I knew him as well. Like, you don't have to tell me that every day, Reggie. We know he's dead. Okay,
Damn,
he
yo,
died.
you're helping me out. I can flip the script on so many people.
Yeah. It'd be like, my dad died. I'd be like, good. Don't do
Jesus.
that.
There was one person in school that just was fed up with somebody's shit one day and was like, good. And you're like, what? It's like, you're supposed to tell me it's going to be okay. I'm going to tell you it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, with like Prince Philip dying, I was like, good. He was old. Let him go,
I was trying to stay away
and he
from that.
wasn't a good guy. He wasn't even that nice. So, like,
It's
good.
it's like when I found
Sayonara.
out Larry King died in an episode. I was doing a recording with my buddy Chris Morano, and we were talking about Applebee's. I was like, they just got a bunch of random shit on the walls. You're sitting next to some hockey sticks. And then I was gonna say Regis, but I knew he was dead. So I said Larry
Mm.
King. And then he goes, "Why'd you gotta bring up Larry, man?" And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Larry died." I'm like, "No, he fucking didn't." He goes, "He died today." And I'm like, what? And I checked my phone. It said 2 hours ago. I was like, holy
Oh
shit. He
man.
goes, dude, I thought you were doing a segue. I go, no, I'm just finding out. Damn it.
R.I.P. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but like again, he was old. He looked tired.
That's what I'm
Good
saying.
for him, Larry King dying.
He's
You
in a better
know, I
place.
think death can be horrible, but if you live to be like 90, good. You did it. Well done. That's way longer than basically anyone's ever lived ever. If you get to 90, you're going to be in like the 99 percentile of people who ever lived.
There's the world's oldest person, 118 years old.
It's disgusting. Fuck
She
that.
was
That's actually.
she was 40 or 41 when World War II ended.
See, that's actually my worst fear. My worst fear is
You don't die.
well, yeah, that one. My other one is becoming 50, and then it turns out people are now living to be 150, and that's like totally normal. I'm gonna be losing my mind.
Oh God. I just want to make it to 26 and then I can get past that.
No, man, I'm almost 30 now.
You look good.
Thanks.
I
I
like
feel
the
good.
mustache.
Yeah, it's one what staying inside will do to you. Just do dumb stuff.
It's better than like throwing cheese on people like most of the world was doing during lockdown.
Throwing cheese on
They
people.
were taking
Oh
slices of
yeah,
cheese.
they're yeah. I did. I did that as well to my wife, but I left the plastic on because I didn't want it to actually like stick because I think then she would actually be mad. But
And
I
you
did
would
it.
get
It was fun.
acne from it.
Dude, yeah, I bet. It's just all processed cheese, it's not nice, is it?
Just the sound of a slap of cheese or a sound of the curdle of milk.
It's just like I used to work at a pizza a long time ago when I was like a teenager. We would throw pepperonis at each other, and that same sort of like smack when it hits you.
You see the Subway employee who made a Subway pizza, and it was just like he made a bunch of Subway condiments on a giant pizza, then baked it. And it's like a secret menu item. He goes, I doubt any other Subway is going to do this, but I do it at this one. So people come in and order that Subway pizza. And I was like, you're just wasting their materials. I was like, wouldn't Subway get pissed? Like this video's got a million something views on it. I feel like Subway,
No, but I mean,
some
they're probably making more money because how do you make what do you charge for a pizza? I'd be like 2 subs, then you can make you a pizza.
okay. I mean, that's a fair point, but still, if I was a CEO, I'd be like, we're going to own that idea because you use it on company time.
Yeah. I mean, they'd be like, thanks for the idea. Now we're going to do that everywhere.
It's all about
Well done.
capitalism.
We're done you. And you don't get anything.
It's all about capitalism. It's like the internet industry. They're all owned by the same people.
Yeah. I'm owned by, Bill Gates now. I got my second vaccine. Oh, I'm a big,
Feeling that microchip?
one love. They make you sit for 15 minutes to like sync up your location services.
That's great. I don't believe in that one, but that's funny. I just
No, I
question
mean
Bill
that's
Gates.
what I actually made that up today. I was because I another one of my comic friends. He's actually in line a little bit ahead of me, and he was like, "How's that?" He's like, "How's that 5G coming?" I was like, "Yeah, they make you sit down to link up your location services, and I'm good to go because you have to wait 15 minutes before you can leave." Do they do that in America? Like they give you the shot here, and they want you to sit down for like 15 minutes to make sure that you're all cool.
I know that's a conspiracy thing, but like it's interesting because people go, how can you not believe that? But Bill Gates also was caught trying to he had a plan to dissipate particles into the atmosphere to dim the sun.
I mean, it's just a good idea.
No, it's not. You don't even have the
Yeah.
sun over there. Why do you say it's a good idea?
And like, yeah, I mean, I wish we had
I'm
the sun.
laughing because you just wrote that down as a joke.
I did.
I know.
I did totally.
I saw
I
that.
totally wrote that down. I was like, I'm like, because I totally forgot about it until I just mentioned it then. I was like, I need to write that down or I'm going to forget again.
I do that too. If I get an idea or something, I have to write it down or put it in my phone or I'll forget about it.
Yeah, no, I'm the worst. The worst. Like I'm probably like one of the worst stand-up comics out there because I don't write. I'll jot down a few notes and then I won't do anything with it. I'll just stare at it.
It's better if you can flow with the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I basically just do improv anyways, so I don't have any sets.
It's kind of what the
Uh,
show's about. I think that's better than having like a script or something. I hate like it's always fascinating, but I also would hate to make like a history podcast where you have to get everything down to the minute detail or someone's gonna flack you for your shit. I'd rather just have some person call me racist, even though I'm not.
yeah, I mean, I can call you racist if you want right now. Do you get
All
off
you
on that?
talk to is a bunch of white men. I'm like, have you looked through my shit? No, there's a plenty of people that aren't white on the show.
Mhm. But like, I don't. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like I said, if you get off on people yelling out you're racist, I'll do that for you. I
I'm saying
can.
I don't want that.
I charge a $5 for that,
I'm
but
saying
I'll
that's what
do
I
it.
receive. I don't want it, but people do it because people want to put you in a fucking box, and if you don't support their ideas, they're gonna cancel your shit.
No, yeah, like you said, you're self-published. How can they cancel you?
I'm an author.
You're an author.
Yes, these are all writings of mine.
Okay.
You were scripted into my play. I'm like Nicolas Cage in Knowing. I knew this was going to happen before it happened.
Oh, I love that movie so much. Nick Cage all the way.
How are you breathing in the atmosphere up there?
Exactly. Oh, ha, Nick Cage. Hey, like I fucking love it. I love that guy. He's a fucking hero. So
Oh,
much depth.
he's just too many characters. Willy's Wonderland was a musical or was a masterpiece, I would say.
I don't think I've seen that one, to be fair.
It's like Five Nights at Freddy's with Nick Cage.
Great.
It's pretty good.
I'll give it a go.
You're not going to watch it.
If I see it, if it's on something I can stream, I'll
If it's
definitely play.
on
If
and
it's
I
not,
got nothing better to do.
if Nick Cage is in it, I'll definitely watch it. It's just a matter of finding it.
All right, Reece, where can people find you, sir?
Yo, you can find me on Instagram and you can follow me on Twitter. I got like 6 people follow me, which is fun.
I don't know.
Tex Reece, TEXREECE. Also, I mentioned before, but new improvised podcast with a couple of my friends. The Last Chili Festival on Instagram and Twitter. It's called The Last Chili Festival, released on July 1st, which might be after this one. I have no idea when you're going to release this.
Now you have 10 followers.
Wait, 10 followers. Whoa. That's what happens when you start Twitter in the pandemic.
I did, and I have 900 and something.
Yeah, but
I'm better than you. And
But
you know
but you already had you doing how long have you been doing this podcast thing for?
2.5 years.
2.5 years, and it's your podcast thing, isn't it? It's not you.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not cool.
Yeah, well, I'm not cool, man. I'm the last person I thought would get Twitter, and I probably am. I know that people get all the time, but I'm a late adopter. All you do is got my jokes.
Every one
better?
of your insults makes me smaller. You like that? That's for the visual listeners to like. All right,
There we go.
I'm gonna make sure I link it all in the description. I'm gonna go make a BLT.
Sounds good, bud. Enjoy that BLT, and I'm gonna eat food.
You're gonna eat porridge.
Probably. Yeah, sounds about right.